as a guitarist, because the lead on this is also very excellent. But there's like different segments of the song. It's almost, Paul McCartney-like, Beatlesque in the way, Paul McCartney would have different sections of songs. That's what this song reminds me of. And this song it's almost epic in a way. Like Van Halen didn't have a lot of what I would call epic songs. Van Halen had a lot of great songs. But like when I think of epic songs, I think of Led Zeppelin, for example. Led Zeppelin had a lot of epic songs. Like they went out of their way to do epic. Van Halen didn't really go out of their way to do epic. They did fun, they did rockin', but not always epic, which isn't a slight on them. But this song, I feel, is kind of like up to the bar with things like Stairway to Heaven and things like that.
Sure. All right, well, if you have a drink close to you, I need you to throw it down the hatch, Dave, because you're going to swallow a big one here. So this is...
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. We all know Dave's not a fan of Van Halen 3.
Oh,
However,
I knew that's where this was going. I knew it.
But I want everyone to take another look at Year to the Day. This is an incredible feat for Edward Van Halen. This is an 8-minute opus, okay? And a lot of people have dismissed this song because they listen to Van Halen 3, and by the time they hit this track, and then it's like 8 minutes long, and then they're lost in the sauce. So I really need everybody to do me a favor. Just listen to that one track by itself when you have an open mind, because I really believe his guitar playing on this track has some absolute genius to it. It's incredible. He kind of broke the Van Halen mold here, and his guitar work has a bluesy feel to it that's kind of blended with intensity. It's not just your typical Eddie style. It builds up to a bonfire of passionate playing that really makes this thing a gem. If you can't appreciate this, I can't imagine that you're an Eddie Van Halen fan. I really believe that if you think about where he was, this was Eddie completely unchained, if you want to use a pun there. Not to use a pun, but he was. He was really spreading his wings, really trying something, going for his artistic achievement here. And I really think that there's some incredible stuff on this track. I know everybody's kind of down on the album. It's not Sam, it's not Dave. Just take that one song and just listen to it a couple of times and listen to it in earphones. There's some unbelievable work on there that really was looked over.
Bold move.
Bold move.
Bold move.
Balls on table.
Give you credit. I think he has a phenomenal solo on that song that isn't a typical Eddie solo.
That's true. Very true. Okay, ball's in your court.
Okay, we're on number 7, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, my number 7 is Drop Dead Legs.
Oh, boy.
1984. I think the solo on that is just amazing. And Ed actually layers the solo. He's got a riff going, and then he's got another solo on that. And then I feel like there's another guitar line on top of that, which is really interesting because originally Ed was not a fan of overdubbing anything.
No.
But once he got 5150 Studios,
yep,
and he was able to start doing things, he really shines through on this song. It's not, the solo keeps going on to the outro of the song. It fades out, which is brilliant and frustrating at the same time because you want more. But again, I think Van Halen was really good at knowing when to cut it off and not going too long.
That's true.
At least when they were with Dave. I think, like
that's true.
With the last song you talked about, like, I hear what you're saying about Year to the Day.
Yeah, I know. It's long, I know.
It is long, and I think, like, that song could have been edited down, and I think more people would have appreciated it. But I think that's part of the brilliance that works with Drop Dead Legs. And there's more of a bluesy feel in it than in some other songs. And I love it. It's not one of the more common, popular songs from 1984, but I think it's one of the best songs on the album.
Interesting. Well, it's interesting that you should pick that because I am right in that area. So this is where I pick. Number 7 for me is House of Pain. Now listen, to be able to dust off this old track, this goes back to the Gene Simmons demos, okay?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So they dug deep for this, and the reason this song is on the album is because of Al. Al pushed for this. Okay. Well, I thought that they polished this up beautifully to a level that is to marvel at. And I also want to say that this is the last track of classic Van Halen. And they left us with a song from their past that they created into this incredible song. Now, here's the thing about this. Dave takes a back seat on this song, okay? But Dave's in the background at this point. Ed totally upstages Dave here. The track also proves that Van Halen still had major fucking balls. Now look at this. This is the end of the album. Go to the beginning of the album with Jump. Listen to Jump, then listen to House of Pain. It's hard to believe it's the same band. I mean, it really is unbelievable. This has a Black Sabbath quality to this song. It really is all guts. It's a solid rock song. Edges on metal for sure. It proves that Van Halen still had their edge. This song actually could be on Fair Warning. I really believe it has that kind of an edge to it. And listen, the last minute and 47 seconds is just bliss. Ed and Al just go off. I think Dave fell asleep in the vocal booth, and they just went bonkers. So I think
Dave does wake up towards the end with his
Yeah, I think that's. I think it was him snoring. I think it was him snoring. I don't know.
Oh, is that...
Yeah, he was doing a little Robert Plant thing there. I think he was doing like a little.
You know what? I never thought about it that way, but almost.
Little Robert Plant thing. But I really think it was such a statement because Eddie Trunk, he always calls the first 4 classic Van Halen albums. He never says the 6-pack because he doesn't believe that the first 6 are classic. He only believes that the first 4 are classic. I tend to disagree with that. He has his right to his opinion. His attitude is, I put on 1984. I'm hearing this, they computerized it and then Jump. Oh my God, the band's ruined. My band is ruined. Listen to Girl Gone Bad. Listen to House of Pain. Listen to Drop Dead Legs. Listen to Top Jimmy. Listen to Hot for Teacher. That band is slamming on that album. It just leaves a really firm period at the end of classic Van Halen. So that's why it's number 7 for me. All right, sir. Number 6 for you.
Number 6,
that's
no
right.
surprise if you've listened to the podcast before, is Secrets.
Oh, boy.
write a really good song, and it doesn't have to rock out. It doesn't have to be House of Pain. It doesn't have to be Drop Dead Legs. It doesn't have to be Unchained. He could take a step back and still write a really good song and play it really well. He doesn't have to have all the amps cranked up to 11 to get a great tone, which he does on this song. Dave is able to write some interesting lyrics, which I think he allegedly got from greeting cards or something like that. But the music is all Ed, and it's just a really great arrangement. Ed does a great solo over it, but this song is just one great example of what a great rhythm guitarist Ed was. Ed gets a lot of accolades for a lead guitar, which he should.
Right.
But people sometimes forget that when he wasn't playing lead, he was playing rhythm guitar because there was nobody else in the band doing, anything. I mean, Michael Anthony's playing bass, okay, and Al's playing drums, but, Ed's playing the rhythm line, doing a phenomenal job. And when they would do this live, Ed would break out the double neck guitar, do the rhythm parts on one part, and then do the lead on the other. So just a really great song. I think an underrated song from an underrated album, Diver Down.
Right.
And that's why it's my number 6.
All right. Can't deny that. That's for sure. Number 6 for me, the title track of this podcast, Unchained. This song defines Ed's solo sound. It's got that groovy crunch to it. The solo is smoking and colorful. It's short, but it's memorable. There's a gritty attitude to this track that leaves a really strong impression. But the key is the attack and the punch and what makes this such a memorable moment and so precious. And then that noodling right to the end for the last 36 seconds really just leaves you wanting more. You know what I mean? It has that incredible feel to it. The video is probably one of my all-time favorite videos because it captures the band's energy. And you can see whenever they played Unchained, they really were just all systems go. And I think the sound, it's really the sound that Ed gets on this particular song that I think is really so signature of his sound. And that's why I chose it as my number 6.
Excellent choice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You were halfway through, Dave. We're halfway through.
All right. My number 5 is, and I'm going to need you to help me with this one, Dave.
Okay.
Is Romeo Delight.
Romeo Delight, number 5.
There you go. All right.
Number 5.
Hats off to Buddy and the crew.
Oh, yeah.
Buddy, I saw your interview you did with some guy on a local Philly TV station. So really nice things you had to say to Ed, by the way.
Of course.
But getting back, about Ed, rather. But getting back to the song, Romeo Delight is one of those Van Halen songs that is Van Halen. Similar to what you were saying about Unchained.
Right.
Romeo Delight. But Romeo Delight comes out of the gate screaming and just keeps going. Great live set opener, which they did open up with this song at one point. And then Ed slows it down in the middle a little bit for that da-da-da, da-da-da, and you're like, wow. And it just works, and it's beautiful. And then they kick it back into high gear again, and Ed just makes it so easy, or rather he makes it look and sound so easy, that a song like this just is so good and so accessible to those